Now you're
Right.
excited about our guest today.
Absolutely. I have a pleasure presenting here today Mr. Clay Hicks from H7 Marketing or Network, I'm sorry. Yeah, he's just an incredible networker, master connector. I had the pleasure of meeting him not too long ago, but he's doing some really great things in building communities throughout the United States, and wanted to have him share his vision for us here today. So thanks for coming on, Clay.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me, guys. Thanks, Neil, and thank you, Christopher.
Absolutely. So, this podcast is all about entrepreneurship, right? And we love business. So, you've been a business owner yourself for a couple of years, right?
Yeah,
Before you started the H7 network.
yeah,
Tell
yeah.
us
I've
a
been an
story.
entrepreneur for 23 years. 23 years.
That's awesome. So, yeah, tell us a little bit about what you did before you got into H7 and how you got your humble beginnings.
Sure, sure. So back when I first became an entrepreneur, I was working at a steel mill called AK Steel in Middletown, Ohio. And started my first business when I was 23. I did a lawn care business. I got out of that by the time I was 25. I had my, I was out of the mill. And to leave the mill is a big deal because I was making 72 grand a year living in an area which I
Ooh.
lived, which was very good cost of living. So to aspire to do more with my life, to become an entrepreneur, definitely had humble beginnings, and I'm like to think I still am. Right. So leading up to when I started H7 in 2008, I was actually in investment real estate. I had sold my lawn care business. I was flipping houses. I was fixing houses. I was in financing in '08 or in '07. Had to get into financing because of the market crashing and things that was happening.
Mm.
But started H7 in '08. Kept doing financing for another year. Been doing H7 by itself now since the beginning of 2010.
Wow.
So it's been quite a journey. I did the single parent thing as an entrepreneur
Mm.
for 7 years. So I raised my biological daughters at that time between 26 years old and 33 or whatever. So did that for a long time. So I
They've
got
been seeing they've been seeing dad hitting the paint every day, right?
they did they did.
Religiously.
Mm-hmm.
No, I love that. So
Yeah.
yeah, tell us for our audience here today. Tell us a little bit about a H7 network and what that's actually about.
Yeah, so I've had A7 for 17 years. What it's really about is my vision is to globally transform networking to where we all start to connect, serve, and ask one another better.
Mm.
Okay. So connect, serve, and ask one to one better. Okay. So connect, serve, and ask inside of our community, and what it really is a methodology to earn trust faster, to expedite trust earning between two professionals or two people, generally speaking, honestly.
Right.
And so H7 being around as long as it has been, I've been on this crazy journey. Not one that I share with many of my peers or any of them at all, actually. So when I got married in 14, H7 was kind of in this place where do I expand it from where I am, which was Dayton and Cincinnati at the time, or do I do something else? Chose to stick with it and really do it very well, do it right, where I'm
Right.
building relationships, or I'm actually doing those things that make sense. And so I started in June of 14 or August of 14, started doing one-to-ones with anybody meet with me. Well, now I'm at 8,600. 8,600 people that I have met with that were not members at the time. So that includes you, Christopher. That includes you today, a little bit, Neil. If we did a physical one-to-one, that would be counted, but Christopher and I have. And so 8,600 people I've met for the first time that were not members when I met them.
Mm.
In 10 and a half years, that says something. I'm committed to the development of relationships. That's very important. And so inside of H7, our culture emits that. We're here to help each other. We're not here to take, we're here to connect, serve, and ask.
Hmm.
And so that lives within the fabric of our community with where we have members in 48 states and 21 countries.
Wow.
Wow.
Global impact
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah, global impact. We just got a member from our first one in Dubai this morning. That's in the UAE. We got a gentleman from Australia joining too. So that'd be 22 countries that we're in. And yeah, one person in one country, but
All it takes is one, right?
that's
Just
right. Yeah,
network effect
yeah,
to pop off. Huh?
yeah, yeah. So anyway, I think I asked your question. You may have some more questions about it. Maybe I missed something,
Oh
but
no, that
No,
was perfect.
I'll just definitely jump. What types of businesses do you serve in your networking? Who are you looking for?
great question. Okay, so I have my in-person network that is like your normal traditional networking, which is your realtors, your mortgage brokers, maybe a web designer, mix of professionals. In our B2B community, where we're expanded that globally, those are primarily executive coaches, consultants, or fractional C-level.
Mhm.
Okay.
So these
So
are
you
real
try
people
to
who
stay
need.
in that ball game when you have people join.
Yeah. Yeah, not that we wouldn't take like a web designer. It's just that executive coaches, consultants, and fractional C-level are the bedrock that it all sits on. So that
Mhm.
makes it more successful for your videographer, your HR person, whatever it, because they're one degree of separation from, well, the ultimate client for any of them.
Was this kind of born out of that idea of like, I've been in the B2B space for some time now, and I've started to understand that it's all about relationships, right?
Yeah.
And it seems like from your end, you set up a networking structure to where it's not just to come and hang out and figure out who it is,
No.
but you guys are actually facilitating and matching and working with folks to make sure they get the in front of the right folks.
That's right. So like our meeting style is like a unicorn. We tie the bow. We tie the bow. So I use that as a way to communicate to somebody that it's not just a place where you go meet people that are also B2B. It's not a place where you go walk into the Zoom room or the room period and you go into network and you get to tell people what you do and you tell them what you're looking for and hope they can help you.
Right.
That's not what we're doing here. That's what traditional networking groups do. In our group, we make sure everybody walks away with a meaningful connection to their ask every time they attend. So it's
Wow.
a money making activity, period.
That's huge. Absolutely, because you never know uh who you could meet. Give an example. I got a phone call from somebody I haven't talked to in 4 years. So I have a huge network of people because I've interviewed over 15 to 20,000 people in 15 years. So I have a huge network and then an account where I've learned and met in Clubhouse and then from other things and some connections. I get a phone call and I have an opportunity tomorrow. Like I was on one sales call, another person picks up the phone. I'm like, hello. And another opportunity comes my way. And it's like, the hard part about entrepreneurship is, do we take the next step? Okay. And that's even when you meet somebody, when are you going to meet that person? So I'm sure your networking group helps people, not just in that group alone, but helps people once they get into another ecosystem so they don't miss out on opportunities. I've literally hand business to people and they don't know what to do with it.
That's a good point.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, we have a lot of fun with it. How we roll that out, I just want to tell you. We don't know who all is going to come to the meeting every single week. So when they come into our rooms, we actually divide them up into groups of 4 or 5 or 6 based upon who our leaders are and what they do, and we build the groups around them. Once I build that group, you're in there by yourself as the only coach or whatever, right? That's how it's built. But then they stay in their groups. They ask each other if they leave the group and did not get the connection. We throw it out to everybody else in the actual meeting before everybody leaves to make sure we get 100%. And it's basically saying, so Christopher's looking for attorneys. Does he have any relationships with attorneys and willing to help Christopher? Show of hands, boom, throw your scheduling links in the chat box. Let's go. That's how we
Wow.
finish meetings.
Yeah. No, it seems like it.
Yeah.
Boom, and that's it. And you make sure that you have the right people together that can connect with each other. Do you vet your people who join your network?
Yeah, well, how we make sure that the right people are there is before they even come in there, they've been vetted. There's a vetting process before a member comes in. Make sure there's proper alignment with culture and all that stuff because our culture is everything. So
Right.
as we're being vetted, part of the process is we have one requirement, and that's to take the CSA training, Connect Serve and Ask training. That's the culture maker. That's the widow maker, man. That's the one that makes us all look back and say, wait a second, I'm going to serve you and help you, right? Because that's my nature. But I'm going to ask you for help because I want to give you a chance to earn my trust too.
100%.
So let's go do that. And so that's where that comes
And
from.
I honestly tell people all the time, it's about your brand and about your relationship ability. So you have a brand that's known, like, and trust around, and you meet with somebody and you build that, they're not going to go anywhere else. This is the mistake people make, is they think, I got to go out and get 1,000 likes on my LinkedIn. And so I'm a social media expert and I still don't care. I said, dude, it's about putting the content out because you might not see certain people that specifically are like that at all. You know what I mean?
That's right. Well, Connect, Serve, and Ask is a disruptor. See, most people actually build their relationships in order of like, know, and trust. They do. They're like, oh, you like the Bears, I like the Bears, and blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah. And then eventually we'll earn trust, right? Over time.
Right. And it's about the relationship, and say, I'm going to trust that relationship. And your product or service, when you are in a field, or I wouldn't say more your service-based business, you have a bigger high ticket item. It's about know, like, and trust. You could just throw out so much social media, you could throw out so much cold email. But when you have that one-to-one, that's when the gold happens. And then how did you let that magic go from the one-to-one to the next? To the next level, and then that next level. And then, so that every time you think things are slowing down your business, somebody picks up a call that you never expected to call you. That's when you know you're on the right track. You've done the right thing. People think it's got to be 1,000 likes. Post on social media all the time. People see your stuff. They don't have to like and engage in everything, because then you're becoming, or you're only after them. You need your core people to see you're a rock star. You do rock star things. You can provide what you say you provide, and you have someone else validate you in the group, and it's game on. And that's one thing I want to start doing, is start to go out and do fit. Because since COVID, I really stay here all the time. But I meet with people all over the world. I really don't have to leave, but I just want to go out and speak on stages again. I want to start meeting with more business to business. So that's what this power of that networking group is. So in your trainings, do you help people specifically in this to get certified, or it's almost like a certification process, to be able to network correctly?
Yes. Actually not network correctly, build relationships.
Sorry.
Even better.
Yeah, networking, build relationships better.
That's what my training does. It also helps you to sustain them, communicate with them. We have all the resources necessary to do your second and third one-to-ones. And then the ultimate agenda, once you have that trusted relationship, is provided as well. So every time you meet every 4 to 6 weeks, it's about opening up doors, and it's predictable, and you know what's coming. Oh my gosh. Are you kidding me? You can fill your pipeline up with 5 trusted relationships all day long.
And sometimes people think they need to have a ton versus getting valuable ones and appointments. I hear about the stories of just vetted appointments that suck.
Yeah.
Kind of go into that. You know, where you think you have a vetted lead, you get on a call, and it's an absolute waste of time. And you don't need as many if they're trusted and you know they're interested in your stuff.
That's correct. So how we handle that is through our training. We actually show our members how to focus on the earning of the trust. Okay. If we're focused on the earning of the trust in our very first appointment, then like and know will follow. It actually broke or bent the like, know, and trust process altogether. And it says, hey, if you focus on earning trust, then you'll know if you want to meet with that person again, because you did all the things that are trust earning opportunities, even in your very first one-to-one. Okay. Then you schedule a meeting from a meeting, right? And you get into that second and third one-to-one where you actually are going to be pitching each other. So you know what it would be like to actually refer that other person. And then you get to that champion relationship, which is the top dog, not a referral partner, a champion relationship where you intentionally fill each other's pipelines up with exactly who you want to meet. But how you actually handle that, how you actually handle those ones that are like not warm or whatever, is you focus on the relationship with that prospect.
Right.
That may be weak. If you focus on the relationship with that prospect, they'll help you too. 100%.
Right. Yeah,
That's
so
how,
it's that
that's what
difference of being a solution seller versus, being that transactional. Hey, let me get in and get this
that's
deal, and it's like,
yeah,
no, let's actually sit down, talk, see what each other's goals are, and really come to some type of alignment.
yeah,
And I love that approach. That's what I use in my consulting practices on a daily. So,
yeah.
um, you're doing so much incredible things. You're starting to go global. You guys are doing some other great initiatives. I think you had mentioned when I first met with you, you're actually helping other networking groups build their structures. Is that right?
Yeah, so that's one that's extremely unique, and people ask me why I do it all the time. So it'd be nice for me to be able to say it publicly. But here's the deal. Here's the deal. I am mentoring other networking groups, CEOs. I'm
Mhm.
also a part of the new board, the new National Network Association that's being built now. Okay, I'm a
Oh,
founding member of that. So we can bring some level of support to all these networking groups nationally. Okay. Now, why I'm doing this is impact only. Impact only. If I build a relationship with Christopher and he and I are talking about networking groups and his own networking group, and Christopher's like, "How do you do this?" And I can help with that. What do you think I'm doing? I'm supporting Christopher, but supporting that community as well is not even mine through my relationship with Christopher. And that
Yep.
to it's all about that. I get nothing from that. All your members are going to hear this new idea, whatever that I supported you with, and you're like,
right.
oh, let's go out and look. I don't even care if I get credit. I don't even want it. I don't even want it. Let's
And that helps with your executive end of things too, because a lot of executive coaches have their own networking group or they have their own community.
Right.
And that's how you can help facilitate that community to have success. Because a lot of times people can meet, could see content, but you're not seeing any conversion.
That's right. That's right. That's right. And lots of networking groups battle with retention. They battle with problems of their actual structure, the vision of it. What are they trying to accomplish? All these different things. And if I can just be helpful in that, that's great. That's great. That's great. Because I do
No.
this full time, and I'm one of the most pure networking CEOs that really, because this is what I've been doing for 17 years. You know.
And you get it and you
Yeah.
understand it. That
Yeah.
I can tell. And you're being straight out. You have a vetting process. You want specific people into your networking group and you want them to have it's almost not a guarantee, but you ultimately want them to have a result from this experience. Not
100%.
like I just came here, I got a bunch of, let's say it's a physical one and have a bunch of business cards, or I just came here and I have a bunch of follow-ups, but I'm waiting on those people to follow up 15 times. I'm being teamed with the actual people that are going to help grow my business.
100%. That's right. Yep. And we support it all along the way. That's what we do.
No.
Fantastic.
Yeah, no, this is incredible. So what are some of the goals that you have for the organization this year, or just kind of future goals that you have over the next three?
Yeah, yeah. So we talk about this a lot, so it's easy for me to answer there. So our we've got our metrics in place. So some of the goals we have is of course expansion. It's all about expansion. However, it's not all about expansion. There's also how do we continue to offer lifetime value to our members in our community overall.
Mm,
Okay. So those have to be balanced out. And so part of the expansion, this next expansion will have groups in 22 states when they all go live, in which they're
Mm.
coming down the pike right now. So having groups in 22 states, of course, I want groups in all the states, right?
right.
Yeah.
So we're gonna get at least halfway there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Right.
I mean, so there's that. Yeah. Then I would, in the next 3 years, I'd like to be doing business in 10 countries,
Mhm.
like opened up, running, operational, all that's done because they're all corporate. We're not franchise. So we're going to actually own those territories for the time being, which we're going to do. We also want to, uh, we're working diligently to get to 4,000 and 5,000 members in our community. It's extremely difficult to do. I just found out we're the fourth largest networking group in the United States.
Really? Wow.
We're sitting at 1,200 members because the next one up is like 5,000, 4,000. The next one up for that is 10. And then you got the big dog with 100,000, right?
Who are those big dogs, just by the way?
The three above, at this point that I know of, would be Latip is the next up.
Interesting.
All right. And then there's Provisors,
Okay, heard of
and
them.
then there is BNI.
Right.
Yeah.
Interesting enough, the founder of BNI, Matt Meisner, was originally a Latip member.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Back until 1984 when he started up BNI. And he rolled off of Latip, reduced some of the rules or guidelines or whatever, and formed BNI. And they expanded, though, via franchise.
Mm.
Wow. Okay. I mean, what I'm seeing, Chris, and I'm going to go back to you, Chris, to kind of finish up this podcast, is that he's created something that is so needed, especially for people that are looking to grow their business with quality leads that build relationships, right, Chris?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I think I think every entrepreneur needs to come to at least one of your sessions, to at least have a class on networking, right? Because uh, shaking hands and kissing babies, that's how I found was the best way to really
Yeah.
move the needle forward in places where I felt stuck, whether it's from a knowledge perspective, finances, or just capabilities wise. So I love that you're making this accessible, you're streamlining it, and it's a proven process, not just sort of setting, so here you go, set in stone, do whatever.
Yeah.
I guess kind of last few questions. Is there any way that you're using technology right now in order to help
Oh, yeah.
facilitate those relationships, or yeah, speak a little bit about that?
Yeah, so we're pretty deep into technology, right? So we use HubSpot as our organizational system. Okay.
Hmm.
We have a piece of technology coming out that will actually connect our members without us touching it, based on the data in which we collect. That's
Okay,
sweet.
that would be pretty nice, like a matchmaking algorithm almost.
But it'll use our existing system to make those contacts happen. And then a member will be just sitting there doing their thing, and they just see this whoop. You should connect with Chris.
Yeah.
What they do, right? That's the kind of thing we're doing next. We're working through that now. I have a digital journal that's basically for it's a very low tech piece of technology that you can just collect information from your one to ones,
Mm.
whether they're a connection, referral partner, champion, prospect, vendor, and you can just kind of use this little simple little piece of technology that can help you organize your relationships without having to get a big CRM. So
No,
it's
okay, kind of like the physical Rolodexes, almost like we used to
uh-huh,
have. Yeah, I
100%.
kind of like
Now,
that.
now we have a book that's a journal that it's made after, so you can maintain your relationships. We have an introduction, digital introduction technology. We're almost done with now. Should be done next week or so for testing. We have our affiliate programs. We've tied our hitch to. We have a networking hub. Networking hub is what it's called. So, like anybody who's networking, these are the things that they need to use so they can use them effectively, like
Right.
scheduling, so Calendly, Zoom, all those different things that you can arm yourself with to come into a one-to-one very much more prepared. Let's see what other piece of technology. I feel like I'm missing some, but
I mean,
that's to
you
start.
listed off some great ones already. I mean, there's a few that I'll actually look at and maybe implement it for myself, especially like the digital journal. Because I think, when I'm sitting in meetings, I like writing with my notes, making sure
Yeah.
that, like, hey, I'm paying attention to you, versus like, is this like this isn't a typing journal, right? This is like a
It,
like physical.
no, it is.
Oh, it is, okay.
But it's simple. It's simple. You type in your name of business. You have like, but it's trust earning. It's a trust earning thing. So it's a practice
Yeah.
of that. So you're not sitting there saying, "So where did you grow up?"
Right.
That's
Okay.
not what I'm saying. I'm saying, "How are we connected?" Boop boop boop. What commonalities do you share? Boop boop boop. How did you serve the other person? Did you help them in any
Mm,
way? And then how
interesting.
did you do it? Did you ask for what you're looking for? Did you schedule your second one-to-one? Just click, click, boom, click, click, boom, click, click, boom. Very simple. So, and
No, I
it
love
just
that.
saves it in the back. Just saves it until you're ready to download it.
No, that would be very efficient, and I love the way that you're setting up the framework for them. Even if I may not ask the same question over and over, I at least want to come back to the same area.
Yeah.
Uh, So what are some of those key insights that you want to leave your new or existing business owners as it relates to the power of networking?
I'll leave it just like this. Okay.
All right.
So trusted relationships are absolutely necessary for an entrepreneur's success.
Mm.
It's probably not your friends and family, just FYI. It's going to be other trusted relationships that you come across and build. So if you look back, if you just think about how many trusted relationships you have, let's define that. A trusted relationship is defined in my world as if I call Christopher and I say, Chris, do you have a connection to this company? You're not only willing to do it, you're willing to check and see if you have it, right? You're willing to
Right.
do both. Whether it's a prospect or a COI or just anybody you're looking to connect with, willing to make it. So if you're listening to this call and you're a new entrepreneur or you a veteran, if you don't have yourself 5 trusted relationships around you, please connect with me. I'm happy to help, happy to do a one-to-one, happy to show you the way, whatever I can do.
Okay. Fantastic. And where's the best place they can go?
LinkedIn is fine. Also, I'm under Clay Hicks and I got my little fedora on. Okay. Or you can email me at clayton@h7network.com, or you can visit h7network.com and fill out the contact form.
All right, fantastic. Best place for Christopher to go is going to be savantrepreneur.com and uxbright.com. Appreciate it, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks
All right,
again, Clay.